Hello. Our next panel is called Phygital Sports, where reality meets the game. Please welcome Ahmed Yilmaz, Dennis Dekanter, Marcus Meyer, Dan Markley, and our moderator, Selçuk Ekpinar. Please enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Dear distinguished guests, colleagues, and participants, welcome to our panel, Phygital Sports, where reality meets the game, held within the inspiring framework of the Montenegro Future Festival. My name is Selçuk Ekpinar. I'm coming from Turkey, Nevşehir Hacı Bektaş Veli University, Cappadocia region, and I'm glad to be here together with you in the esports family to build the future of the sport. Today, we explore the rapidly emerging concept of phygital sports, an exciting space where physical performance and digital innovation converge, reshaping how we define and experience sport. As technology continues to evolve, the boundaries between sports and esports are becoming increasingly fluid. So in this session, our distinguished speakers from the United States, from Germany, from Netherlands, and from Turkey, we will share insights on how new competition formats, cutting-edge technologies, and evolving fan engagement models are transforming this hybrid landscape. So we will also examine how phygital sports are opening up new opportunities across both the sports and esports industries. So welcome our guests to our panel. And then in this panel, we just structured our panel in 3 different blocks of question and answer session. So in the first question, dear speakers, I would like to, when we start the questions, please just like briefly introduce yourself and then reply to my question. So our first block is understanding phygital sports. And the first question in this block goes to Dan Markley. And Dan, I would like to ask a question from a governance perspective from your side. Where do phygital sports fit within the global sports structure?
Thank you for moderating, Selçuk, and for the invitation. Thank you to the organizers of this great event. My name's Dan Markley. I'm chairman of the World Phygital Community. I've been on this project for about 2 years, and in this role for about the last 14 months. And it's a great honor to represent such an important movement. Phygital sports sits at the intersection of traditional sport and esports, while establishing itself importantly as a distinct governing category. The World Phygital Community connects 120 members in 116 countries through a structured competitive pathway leading to our pinnacle event, which is called the Games of the Future. Governance aims to be led by its membership community called the World Phygital Community. It is regulated globally, but applied locally. And we are also implementing a blockchain governance framework to support transparency and verifiable records. So if successful, that would be the first time in sport that you could agree on the results, but as you continue to argue about technology. But it combines the integrity of traditional sport with the flexibility of a digital ecosystem. And admittedly, we're just getting started.
Thanks for the answer. Then it's obvious that it will definitely improve and then reach some final stage with the I would say instead of traditional sport but regular sports, and then we will combine each other. So we will reach the final stage at the end. Thank you for your answer. Then the next question will go to Marcus Meyer. What is driving the rise of phygital sports right now? Technology, audience demand, or industry disruption?
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here in Montenegro. Thanks for the invitation to this really great Future Summit. And some words about my legacy. I'm working for esports and the gaming sector since about 20 years. I brought up the first broadcasting channel in Germany in the regular broadcasting of sports, and we gone with a key phrase: esports is sports, because esports is sports. There's no discussion anymore in Germany. It is regular sports since the 1st of January, and we staged up in 2014 the first professional broadcasting with an own studio, with an own designated app to get community involved, but also to get the society educated about this. Because everyone thought, okay, they are only sitting there and doing nothing instead of eating chips and maybe have a cola. But that is a very hard competition they are running for. It is a very interesting field of being a team, to be international in those tournaments. And after it, we had a 24/7 pay TV channel on esports only, with all the licenses of League of Legends and many more. And I did run many festivals in Germany, run many licenses in broadcasting. And what I always had: is it about technology? What is your question? Technology, is it in industry? What drives this sports? And the sports is driven via a community and the narratives and clearly, really clear rules on tournaments, on consumption, on what is in for me as a player, what is in for me as a team, what are the next steps I can go. And they are connected via technology, via innovative possibilities to play against, apart from each other on a digital platform. But what now is, and what the driver of the Phygital sports is that we bring people together on sports venues, as they have all the advantages of competitive gaming, they know, and we add with sports in short formats to compete against each other. And everyone brings his own profession on digital games or his own profession on the sports we know from the pitches, but in a new format, in a new way, how communities go together to have a team, to have a name, to go for this new sports. And technology helps. But technology isn't the key. The key is always the people running this, the teams, to be and to have your own position in a team, in a sports. That is the driver of this new sports, and that is the key of getting this new sports into a brighter field, a grassroots field, to build a real structure and real ecosystem on this new sports, to be really the connector of both worlds.
Yeah, thank you. Basically, Marcus, the reply that I got from you is it's an interaction in between all these variables, like technology, innovation, community. So without maybe one of them, it cannot be happen. Like it cannot reach the main purpose.
Yes,
so.
But the main driver is always the human being with all what makes him attracted on it.
Exactly.
But you need this triangle to go for this. That is true. And what we have now is the possibility to have many analysis, data,
yes.
And we can give this data setup to the players,
to the coaches,
but also to the league and to the Olympic committees. We are talking in Germany with them to find out where is the next attractive Olympiad in those sports. So that is the possibility you have with this triangle. That's true.
So exactly. So in parallel with the Montenegro Future Festival, we have been leading the PASTECH conference, Sports Science Conference, here in Bar again. So basically, the main theme for the conference was the future of the Olympic movement. in parallel with this, like, this organization, this environment, we are also scientifically researching the possibilities and the opportunities for the e-sport if it will be maybe in the future in the Olympic Games. Thanks for the reply, Marcus. So my next question will go to Dennis Decanter. So Dennis, sim racing is impressive, we know that, but how can it truly translate to real-world driving performance?
Okay. Before I will answer the question, I will thank you, the organization, for the inviting over here to Bar. It's great to be here, see a lot of friends, good conversations. Oh, there's a friend coming in with a question, I think.
Exactly, yes. He would like to also involve.
Yeah, no, he can't answer my question now, but it's great to be here. But the question about sim racing, yes. And we all know that sim racing is not only a training module, but also a real game where you can put everything together to be a winner. And if you win, you can maybe go to the real sports. It's also be in a training environment, also for data, also for the setup, also for the coaches. It's so good to see the difference between the two sports, real sports, the racing and the sim racing, e-sports, but they clinch very, very much together. So it's very good.
Thank you for the answer. Coming from the sports science field, my major is the motor learning and control. So basically, in our field, we use simulators.
Yeah.
Especially not only in sports, in the real scenarios, like the flight simulators, the car simulators. So basically, as far as I understood you correctly, so you're just like simulating the real situations into the games. So I believe that it may, for sure, positively transfer to the real situation. Thank you for your answer, Dennis. So the last one for this block goes to Ahmet Yilmaz. Ahmet, from a market perspective, what defines a successful Phygital product or experience?
I think we are kind of lucky because in Phygital sports, it's including the dancing, which is like very easy to understand and to play. I think right now the best product looks like the dancing products, which you are replying the movements of the screen and you are gaining points. Of course, it can be a little bit developing better, but right now with the Kinect technologies, it's also getting your like body movement and something. And especially in dancing entertainment, the mimics are like very important. And it's evolving to that point, and it's so safely that the kids can do it at home, which we also observed in a governmental project in Turkey. Like we reached like over 1,000 students were in a technological center, which they were making their like new generation technologies, and they were loved to play the Just Dance. Like I saw like a 14, 15 years old kids, they are dancing much more better than me, and like having enjoy, and like they are saying like I'm dancing at home, and that's a good part and safe way. And also the market wise is, I think the Phygital is like having so much advantage because it's also concluding the classical sports, which is like the sports in our human life is maybe over 4,000 years, and already we built some fields to do the sports. And with the Phygital one, the digital stage to add the professional field, it's much more easier to add like making physical fields, Like the hardest thing is already done by the history, and like we just adding the Phygital part, like digital part, and to make it combine it. And I think it's like friendly, marketing friendly also, which is like we can use the new generations like digital addiction to real fields and to giving them awards, being strong and physically also. That's what parents love. That's what I think governments love, like all the health care people love, right? Like you can't stop the digital grownness, but you can adapt in digital grownness and physical grownness also, which is like when I was a coach in esports over 10 years, I saw the difference like between the players who never made the sport and the players who went in a sports academy when they are 10 years old. The difference was the background with the classical sport, the kids were improving more faster, like they were more disciplined and better feedbacks and better communication skills, and also used to be in a collective gameplay to understand. That's why market-wise is like promising a lot. Like,
Yeah. Again, coming from the sports science field, I can tell you that the number of scientific papers about esports is also increasing in the literature. So, which is a promising sign that, like, this field is growing, this environment is growing. And you also mentioned that, like, about the history of the sports, which comes, like, basically the well-structured organization 2,500 years ago, almost in ancient Greek, ancient Olympic Games. We have a friend here, Karamusadaki from Greece. So it emerged, so it changed, and we have to be, adapt ourselves to the new world. So thank you for your answer, Ahmed. So our second block will be related to technology, innovation, and integrity. This time, I will start with you, Marcus. So with technologies, AI, XR, wearable, and data systems are most critical in shaping the phygital sports.
Yes and no. Because we have a very fast development, as we all see with the AI topic, to go for comparing data from the physical movement on fields and so on. And we have the possibility to bring in all those systems to life with a platform where we get all these digital systems and signals. That is very important to fulfill the sportless, the sportless traction, to help him to see, okay, where do I stand? If you have this analysis, if you have this XR environments, then you see, okay, I'm at the point where I can achieve maybe 20% better performance if I go for this or that. Then we can give him a really individual training where he stands and what he can achieve. So those technologies help us to go for more data on the players, to help them to be very sure on themselves, where do I stand, what is something I can improve, and what is something which topics I can improve my performance much better. The integration of games are several. So there are 4 disciplines at the first hand, with basketball, with soccer, with dancing, and with shooters. But we also had tryouts with paddle in Germany. We used the VR glasses for a skilling match, and then after the people went on a real pitch with a very intense short time format, and it was fabulous. And it wasn't just a youth topic. Mostly the players have been older than 30 years old. So that is really, really interesting. And what does it help for sports and for the sports ecosystem to use all this technology and to bring this technology to the facilities? We are working with the Olympic Committee in Bavaria, and we have a hall where we have a lab and bring this technology into this traditional sports Olympic center, and we achieve many data. We give new aspects, new possibilities to get new players in, but we have always the data of the players to prognosticate who are the players who might be these to present the country in the broader field. So technology is key, but the key has to be built. So we built a product where we combine all those technologies in a very intelligent way to commute then to the digital platform, and to, very important, to the media aspect, where you can go for research but also for streaming, to give every player a good a good media for their stage in social media. So that is the possibilities we have with all those technologies, and all the sports clubs and federations are very happy that they have a chance to be more digitalized.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus. In fact, 2 days ago, one of my colleagues, Professor Stevo Popovic, was leading a session here, and we had a speaker from Saudi Arabia, Mustafa, and Mustafa was always saying that, I mean, you have lots of data, but the important thing is you need to know how to use the data.
Yes.
So basically, this is what you pointed out.
Yes.
Thank you, Marcus. Now I'll go with Dennis. Dennis, how do you ensure fairness and prevent cheating in a phygital environment, especially online?
Now, you said already data. Yeah, that's it. That's the most important thing. You've got the telemetry, you've got the data, but also you want to do with anti-cheat programs. With sim racing, you have to do also with hardware. You have to do with all the software you can break in, you can hacking, but also abuse with the Discord, where the online is. We like to get it regulated. Okay. So if the regulations is fine and standardization, then you can know if you are well willing or not. You can't be for cheating. Everybody is cheating and wants to cheat because they want to win. Yeah. And therefore we would like to get a program for it that's on book, not a program on data, but how do you go over it, how do you deal with it, and how it is. So we have to educate the stewards, the race directors, the drivers, what are the rules, what are you doing, so make a standardization of it, even if it is an e-sport. For my expertise, the sim racing, it's much more easier. But it is online is so difficult to check and to get the evidence. So yeah. Data will be a very good one.
Exactly, but Dan also in his previous reply, he said that education and well-structured programs can maybe also solve this problem.
One way that Phygital can solve that is its format of being a physical event where people actually gather and they witness the event in person.
Exactly.
The issue is, from a centralized perspective of regulation, the issue is, of course, substantiating that the tournament was held up to technical standards and fairly and held fairly. It was a fair tournament. We are discovering huge learning at the end of every season. We discover loopholes that need to be closed, ways to protect organizers, ways to protect athletes' performance and results, and it's still in operation in construction.
Yeah.
But that is one way that Phygital solves some of that, is because it's a live in-person event.
Yeah. Thank you, Dennis, and thank you, Dan, for your contribution.
Yeah. Okay.
And the next question will go to Ahmed. How do developers balance innovation with user experience and fairness?
Like in developers part is like in a digital part, you mean? Like that's up on the gaming companies, which is like it's not easy, but it's a must, since like we're talking about like football is like over 100 years a game, but still it's like developing. Not even at the rules, maybe rules are changing a little bit, but they are developing on the technology, on the VR, like VAR system, the offside systems, like, and maybe the part of entertainment system. Because, of course, in the competitive sport, the result is very important, but I think in this new marketing level, it's changing a lot to bring more rewards to the people, like being a man of the match, like a first toucher, like making the first goals, like even the statistics are in football are using like a diversity, like not about like how long you have the ball or something. It's all about like there's a new terms, like like rest defense terms, like rotation terms, like there's even like the formations are changing. The game is the same, but the roles are changing. You have like a left back, right back is turning into inverter backs, like half space is same in a game that's not even changing, but in the digital games are updating every time. And it has to be like user like it's for the users all the time. The users are like very crucial because you can report it so easily in the online system or in social media. That's why I think that even the game companies are spending a lot to catch the trends, but still there is not the best formula right now. Like, because sometimes if you listen what people are doing, they can be even like you not love again or something. Sometimes we are forcing it. Like if I'm looking to the football games right now, like one of the like EA games, like a lot of people hate that game. Like they are like not hating, but they are saying, oh, it's always like pay to win or having this problem, but still keep playing the game, you know. Even toxicity is like something that you can behold on. I think right now still the development stage is just like a trials to trying everything, which is like for every company, every game company is going on. But how you can use about fairness, this is like for private companies, they're just looking to keep the users doing the game, and that's like therefore you have like very ethical or unethical ways to do. But still, I think there is not the perfect way right now that we or the game companies just figure out. Like.
So basically what you're saying is to getting the feedback from all the sources
Yes.
is very crucial to always going forward. Thanks Ahmed for your reply. So the last but not least the question for this block will go to Dan. Then who should set the rules? Federations, developers, or platforms?
Well, governance should not sit with one group. Within that ecosystem, there are multiple stakeholders, and in Phygital sport, there are unique layers of that governance. There's Phygital International, who are the IP holder and the rights holder for our pinnacle event, the Games of the Future. There's they shape the competitive format. Then there's the WPC, the World Phygital Community, under development as a federated regulator, and then there are the game publishers who create the underlying titles. But the developers like Phygital International, they control the product. WPC regulates, and platforms, whether it's a digital game or even traditional sport, they're the ones that project the reach into audiences and participants. What is needed is not a consolidated control. What's needed is an alignment. And if one group controls everything, then we might have like a perfect gameplay but no structure, or a perfect structure but no one wanting to play the game. So Phygital aspires to bring these stakeholders into an alignment and a framework while keeping the roles clearly defined.
Yeah, I think in this aspect, the representative of these like federations might also helping how to shape these regulations. So yeah, I mean it is an interactive process as far as I understood. So and it will just like always keep improving and keep developing. I totally agree with you. Then not like leaving the opportunity to run everything in one organization or one thing. So thank you Dan for your answer. So the last block of the question and answer session will be related with the business, governance, and future. So because now we have to let's connect innovation with the real world impact, and this time I will start with Ahmed. Ahmed, what are the biggest business opportunities in the Phygital sports today?
Right now, the most sponsorships are like related more to the classic sports, which is what I love in Phygital also is like the physical stage is longer than the digital stage, but it's in flow. Like there's a 7 minutes, like or 2.5 minutes for a digital player to play a game, and there is like a 10 minute or 20 minutes in a physical way, which is that balance is very nicely. You can of course change a little bit, but forcing as a human to be making physical activity, it's more neat than a digital activity. Like in the end, even we are living like spending so much time in a virtual world, but as a human, we are like a human flesh, and this body is like a needs to be in a good position to make it like the better decision giver or something for the health. That's why I love this flow. This flow shouldn't be like 50-50, like this should be pushed a little bit more on the physically part to have better mental help on the digital stage to live. Because even after doing a digital sports, we are spending more time in a digital world. That should be like is a great part. Yes.
Absolutely. If one aspect, whether digital or phygital, outweighs the other, then it stops being phygital.
Yes.
Right. It becomes just sport again. Or if it leans towards esport, it becomes esport again. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we have been discussing this issue together with my colleagues, and then making a balance as like the crucial and the main point in this aspect, I guess, as you pointed out. So that is, I think, why you called it phygital sport. So I totally agree with you, Ahmed, to make the smart balance in between two, because of course, like being on the screen, we know that like too much screen time might also have like both psychologically and physically health problems, cause some health problems. But with the phygital sports, I guess we don't have any kind of problems. Thank you, Ahmed. So then, now, can phygital sports become part of international sports system? Like Marcus also mentioned, but I would like to direct this question to you, especially for the Olympic movement.
Yeah, other sports structures are certainly great partners, and Phygital is structurally compatible with international sports organizations, but integration is a process, of course. We already have a functioning global framework with competitions that scale internationally. Through the Games of the Future, our pinnacle event, the Games of the Future. The model is club-based rather than, so participants, they compete for their club, which we feel scales better internationally, and it avoids even a lot of the least desirable bureaucracy of competing under a flag. But the Games of the Future in 2025 in Abu Dhabi last December, it brought more than 850 participants from 60 nations. 11 days of competition with 11 disciplines ranging from the pure phygital to e-sport exhibitions and even tech sport like drone racing. We have a massive global engagement of 460 million broadcast views from that event, 59 million hours of watched globally, 388 million views on social media, and 40,000 fans that actually came to watch the event in person. And all of these stats are Ipsos verified. So this is a statement for sure. And with regard to whether or not we slide into the Olympic movement or a similar, we're not trying to rush into those existing systems, but I think we're trying to be ready if someone comes looking. Integration into sport is it's a marathon. It's not a patch update. It requires process and patience and incremental gains.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the wise, wise movement, wise action in your perspective that, you need to have some time. I mean, we should have some time to go further. So, congratulations. But, to me, it's just compared to, because I was involved this kind of activities environment starting from 2 years ago. So the improvement is enormous, I can say that, and it will reach, some place like it.
I hope that Phygital and the marriage between the digital and the physical is a segue for esports to be ever more increasingly accepted as true competition, or defying some of the conventional thinking about what is sport, what is an athlete, what is competition. We're with you, you that are coming from an esport background. We think that esport is competition, that esport athletes are true competitors and athletes, if not in the physical sense. And we hope that Phygital can assist with that kind of granted acceptance.
No, the idea for the Phygital is like perfect for me. I mean, I just like really congratulate, I don't know who invented these Phygital games, but it's perfect idea. But apart from that, like, you know, the structures that you just said then is using some skills, some talents in both e-sport and sport is required, by the way. I can tell you that because some aspects that we use in sports is also very crucial in e-sport. It's or the other way around. It's vice versa. Especially decision making, reaction time, anticipation time. These kind of perceptual abilities are really very important in many sports and e-sports. So basically, there are still, like now even, I can tell that there are some common aspects in between two disciplines, let's say, but in one. Yeah, I mean, definitely I totally agree with you. Maybe slowly but slowly, but it will reach some you know, top level at some point for sure. Yeah, thank you, Dan. So Marcus, are we building sustainable ecosystem or short-term hype cycles? What do you think about that one?
Yes, that is something we all experienced with the esports topic. If you only go for the big events, if you only go for not being in the grassroots of every region and country, then you don't have a sustainable topic. So the development in every region with all the cultural aspects, with the sports political aspects, is very, very important for growing, adapting, and going with those sports related companies, brands, sponsors, and so on to develop, because every region, every culture, every sports political aspects are different. That are not globally all the same. So I'm more than sure, with all the experiences I did the last decades, on what is a short-time hype and what is a sustainable and really long-lasting sports is the key, the regional grassroots aspects. And that is what the members has a chance from WPC with their ambition to build those grassroots aspects. And I think, and that is a good point, I think what came out of the discussions at this conference here in Montenegro is that, of course, in Europe, we have different sports, political and societally aspects than maybe in Asia. So what came out now these days is that it is very, very important to have in every country and federation growing this sports with a combination of the grassroots and the traditional sports environment you're in. Because if you don't do that, only come from the top, then you don't have this bottom line structure, this fundament. So that is a very, very good thing. In the last weeks, we got in cooperation with the Austrian guys who are really deep in small field football aspects and growing this now with their community. We are growing with a designated app we build up for the community building, for training, for tournaments, and so on. And that is something which is bespoken with partners who are attending this Montenegro festival. And nowadays we are very happy to announce that we are building a structure for Europe and all the countries in Europe to go with our aspects into success. And that is today is a day to announce it, and I'm very, very happy to have many partners going this way for an European Phygital Federation to be really in every region relatable and the perfect person to talk to for politics, for the ministries of education, because schools are very, very important for this new sports, to get people back, not only into movement, to get people back on physical places, back into teams, back into into a self-recognition in their role with this new sports. Because if we leave them only with the games they are playing, not bringing them into contact with people, then we leave a generation. So, but that is to be made really in the regions, to have a sustainable and not a hype topic. Because hype topics are burned out very, very fast, and that is, I think, nothing we all want. We want to grow it with all the opinion leader we have in those regional countries and markets, and I'm very, very happy that we are now in the position to bring that to life in Europe, and I think that is the key, of course.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. I mean, I can tell from my perspective that for the sustainability and then longevity, that you know, in my university, for instance, our students, not only the Faculty of Sports Science students, but the other students also came together, and then they opened a sports club for the e-sport.
Yes.
E-sports sports club. So basically, it's growing, and then it will sustain for the the future for sure. I mean, yes. But coming back again to the education, it is really very important. Me myself, I believe that it is really very important to integrate into the real educational system in the early ages, so that to make because we live for the societies, for all society in the world. So basically, if we integrate this education, the structured educational system into the the society, I think we will get like a better and healthier and also good players, so e-sport players or digital players. So I agree with you, Marcus.
But to go into those sectors, you have to be very reliable in the country, with a spokesman, with a federation, with a supporter of those grassroots topics, because it's much work to get all those into a new sports, into a new system, into something which is at a starting point in all those sports facilities. That's not an easy one, but it is a run where you have to have a very good understanding of the cultural aspects in every country.
Exactly. I mean, again, I can tell you that in terms of the motor development perspective for the human beings, you cannot start walking without standing up, okay? And without standing up, without crawling, you cannot stand up. So basically, it will take some time, and then it will go step by step. But again, all these like skate holders and everything will get, if they will get together to build up a, nice environment, especially for the Phygital environment, that will be really my also desire and aim also as a researcher. So thank you, Marcus. So Dennis, is Phygital motorsport actually commercially viable?
Yeah, that's a good question, but I think I have the answer you already have noticed by them. It must be a hybrid, digital and the real sports together. Then it can be commercial, also for the viewers, for the esports, also for the sponsorships, also for the understanding. You have to be in the real sport to understand the esports. Otherwise, if you, with education, you start young on your digital mobile playing games, then you know exactly what it is to be if you go for the sports in real time. So the commercial, we need both worlds, and that's what the hybrid is. And what you said about dancing, you see what it is. If you started dancing, then you know the game. So yes, we need both worlds. The real sports are very traditional, very old, and the esports is just beginning.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. And in fact, I can tell you that from my perspective again, for the Exer Games especially, I can say I can see that from different ages till, like, in old ages, they are really enjoying it, you know. And there are also some scientific research about the Exer Games with the elderly people. So they increase their level of physical activity and they enjoy it. This is the most important part, especially what Ahmed said about the dancing is perfectly true for them. I think we are completely on time, and I gotta tell you that I'm really glad to be here in Montenegro, in a beautiful city of Bar, where the culture, history, and beauty of the Adriatic coast meets together, and this will surely inspire all of us to go forward.
On behalf of my colleagues managing the Phygital project, I just want to say how lucky we are to have Marcus as a product visionary and architect, Dennis as a Phygital discipline innovator, and Ahmet as an extension of ourselves in Turkey, who's organizing and activating Phygital where you are. And from a personal perspective, I couldn't be more grateful just to be here and to listen to you guys talk about Phygital, and it's not me, and it's others that are speaking so highly of it, and I'm so grateful for that. It's really heartening to hear that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you all for your participations, and then I would like to also thank to the audience to be patient and listening for us. The last thing that I would like to do is asking to the audience if they have any questions. Otherwise, I will close the session. I mean, I asked so many questions, but if you still have some, you are very welcome. Yeah.
Like
right.
maybe I can just add something.
Okay,
like,
Ahmet, yes, go ahead.
Especially like right now, the biggest problem, like for every marketing, every class is like, even like the education system, you are looking to be upgraded, right? Like, but do you think like 2 years ago, education system was so bad, but still they had like so many scientists or something? The biggest problem is we are losing the attention time from the new generation, and that's why we are looking to be models, to be more fun, to be keep their attention, right? Like, in this attention level, like if I talk with it, like for example, like TikTok, something they say like it's 7 seconds, or like maybe it's going down, and this is also causing in the real life problems too. We can see on the behalf of the new generation, like they are not willing to work in the works a lot. You know, like the companies can't find people to work, and the people who has no job can't find the work that fits to them. And it's all about we are losing so much attention, and there is so many things to focus on a life. We are getting confused on what we should be focused. But that's why the physical activities, even in esports, we have a funny saying and say like, oh, hey dude, you played so much games, just go and touch a grass or something, you know. That's not a joke. It's like a real, like if you are making sports, it's increasing your like attention level also. That's why the brands are needing Phygital, because like it's combining the new generation's digital love and also to help their like for better future parameters of being a human on a physical sports.
Ahmed, that is why I'm here as a sports scientist to support the Phygital sports, okay? So I totally agree with you, and then we have to, as I told you, as I told to everybody, that to keep the balance and then just like keep forward. So thank you all for your participation, and if you have further questions, you can catch it up.